let's step out so you guys can see my phenomenal home cosplay. I don't know if let's get the shot of it. So if you're seeing here, hello, my name is Julia, and I will be auditioning as Prince Eric in the Little Mermaid remake. Hello guys, welcome to another video. You all knew this video was coming. After my millions of reads of fairy tales and childhood like wonder, we're gonna do retellings recommendations, or recommendations of retellings. We'll totally figure this out. So basically these are books that I recommend to you that are based off of certain properties. Some of these are fairy tales, some of them aren't. I'm gonna go in sections, but first we're gonna start off with the retellings of classic stories, as in like, you know, Shakespeare-wise classics, you know, the usual. No, my camera and my books. You all, I don't know if this is canon, that it's a retelling, but I just think it is a retelling because they do talk about how it's a modern Little Women retelling, which I just gave that away. Okay, the author says it's a Little Woman meets Gilmore Girls, so I'm counting that as a Little Woman retelling. And that is The Last Summer of the Big Air Girls by Jessica Spotswood. I recently just read this on my road trip, and I really enjoyed it. If you really love Morgan Matson, you're really gonna enjoy this. This is like the diverse version of Morgan Matson. So, basically in this story we follow four sisters, and basically they're all going through their summer and falling in love. I personally would call this a Little Woman retelling because basically there's four sisters, they're living under one roof, they only have like one like motherly figure. It's Little Woman. So for sexuality rise, we have two female-female relationships, not just one. There is a love interest that is bisexual, and I believe they are Asian. I literally read this book like 2 weeks ago, and I don't remember anything. But I really enjoyed this book. I liked the character dynamics, I liked the characters, I liked how they grew in more. So if you really loved Little Woman, getting ready for that Little Woman remake with Greta Gerwig directing it, and you don't want to read that thick book, the original, you can go to this one and just read a retelling of it. Or if you really like Little Women, here's a retelling for you. The next story I have is a retelling for the famous story, I was about to say 12 Christmases, but that's not it. A Christmas Carol. You know, the one about the, like, this female singer, and basically she's really rude, she has this weird cat, she won't let her employees have some fun on Christmas, so her, like, aunt comes in and she's like, yo, what's your face? You need to be changed, or else you'll be like me. 3 goats will visit you. You're telling me that Barbie Christmas and Christmas Carol is not an original story? This retelling is The Afterlife of Holly Chase. Now, I enjoyed this, not a lot, but a lot of people seem to really love this book, so sometimes you might like books more than I do. But basically, this book follows Holly Chase, and basically, she's visited by 3 ghosts, like the usual Christmas Carol kind of thing, but she doesn't listen to them, and then she dies. And then for the next few years, she's working for this agency called Project Scrooge, and she's trying to save people from their fate that she had. This book was okay. I personally, I didn't enjoy it as much, but then again, some people enjoy this book a lot more than me. Like, Emma Books praises the hell out of this book. So if you like what books she likes, you'll like this one. So I'm just recommending it because I don't really read or hear a lot about classic stories being turned into young adult books, which I would love to hear more about. But this is enjoyable. This was a fun one. So the last kind of classic story that I have to recommend to you all knew this was coming because it hasn't been mentioned yet. As I Descended by Robin Talley. If you haven't read this book already, please do. This book is a gay Macbeth retelling that I've been shoving down everyone's throats since Peyton got it for me for Christmas, and I read it, and I loved it. So basically, it's Macbeth. Really, it's just female Macbeth. So if you really loved Macbeth, if you really loved Heathers, which is a Macbeth retelling, you should totally read this. Please do. It's an enjoyable story. Okay, I know you all have been waiting for the fairy tale retellings. Let's do them. So if you're looking for a Peter Pan retelling, because I know all of you are looking for a Peter Pan retelling, I recommend going for The Neverland Wars by Audrey Greathouse. Personally, this is the only one I've read. Personally, I rather recommend books to you all that I have read rather than books I haven't read. Basically, the Neverland Wars book follows a girl by the name of Gwen, which is a very popular name in the Peter Pan retellings. I don't know why Gwen is such a, like, go-to name for these retellings, but anyway. She basically has a younger sister. The younger sister goes missing. The younger sister comes back 2 nights later with Peter Pan and tells her to come to Neverland with her. And Gwen does, to protect her sister. And then there is a war between Neverland and reality, because Neverland has magic and it's helped us evolve as humans on Earth. I really like this. Personally, I have not read the 3rd one, because this is a trilogy, so if you need a retelling series, this is the place to go, because I know a lot of retellings are just one book, and some people are really ticked off about that. So if you need a trilogy based off of... Personally, the first book is not my favorite. I think the second one is my favorite. I don't remember much from it. But, like, the characters develop more, there's more relationships, like, growth, and I think it's just the writing gets better and the story gets better from there. But this still is a great first book, and I believe this was Audrey Gridhouse's debut novel, so good for her. So for another fairy tale, Cinderella, classic fairy tale. You all knew this was coming. This is a popular Cinderella retelling, but if you haven't read Geekerella already, what are you doing? This is like a fandom person's dream. So if you don't know what Geekerella is, which you should probably already know, because I'm sure many people have recommended this to you and you still haven't picked it up, which you should, by the way. This book follows a girl by the name of Elle. Get it? 'Cause of Cinderella. So basically, she is this fan of this kind of Star Trek kind of TV series, and she's left to this stepmother and stepsisters that don't understand it, and she's kind of to herself. Of course, like in the age of remakes and sequels, they are remaking the series, and when they cast her favorite main character, she hates the casting. And little does she know that she is messaging that very actor that she doesn't like, who secretly likes Starfield. So they get this relationship. It's a kind of a mix of the Cinderella thing and like You Got Mail kind of thing. I mean, that's a good mix. You Got Mail, Cinderella, yes. Well, there's also, I believe this is a part of a trilogy, Once Upon a Con. The other fairy tale that goes with this series is Princess and the Pauper. Nope, that's the Barbie movie. The Princess and the Fangirl, which is a very interesting story. I enjoyed it enough. I didn't like it that much. The only, redeeming factor was the female-female relationship. And seeing the characters from Geekerella were, the best parts of that whole book. But I do recommend, if you are a huge fan of this book, to read it, give it time. Don't buy it, though. But, still read it. He's doing a Beauty and the Beast retelling. I'm on board for that. So, if you're really into Cinderella retellings and fairy tale retellings in a modern sense, I truly recommend this book. Now we move on to Beauty and the Beast. Tale as old as time. Ah. That was my Ariana Grande impression of butchering that song. But anyway, retelling, you all knew this was coming. You all knew. Because this is one of my favorite books of the year. So you all knew this was coming. And I haven't talked about it yet, which I'm going to now. Curse So Dark and Lonely. Please read it. This is my Throne of Glass. Anything's better than Throne of Glass. So basically, this book, again, Beauty and the Beast retelling. So I'm going to tell you the plot right now. So basically, there's this girl named Harper. And basically, she's in the city somewhere. And she sees this guard, and he's about to attack a girl. She basically sacrifices herself in the girl's place trying to save her. And she's transported to this magical kingdom where basically they are being haunted by a dragon-like creature. And it turns out it's actually the prince who, a few months or every season or every year, some time frame, he'll turn into the dragon and kill a lot of people, including the person that he's trying to fall in love with. But the only way to break the spell is true love, the usual. I feel like when you do retellings, personally, my favorite retellings are the ones that you can sense that they're a retelling of something, the plot, but it still adds its own flavor to it, and that's exactly what A Curse So Dark and Lonely. You still get the hits of Beauty and the Beast. You still get girl taken to a kingdom. Prince is cursed by a witch because he's evil and selfish. The girl lets him learn to love. They love each other. Slow burn, that kind of stuff, which you get in this book. So I really, really enjoy this book. Love it. Can't wait for the sequel. Someone give me an arc. I need to reread this, though, even though I read it this year, because I don't remember anything. Of course, you all knew this was coming, that I was going to recommend some Little Mermaid retelling, especially when I came out here cosplaying as Prince Eric, the best prince in any Disney fandom. Fight me on it. So basically, the first retelling that I have to recommend to you all, I'm sure you all knew this was coming, especially after my series of tweets. To Kill a Kingdom is really good. Just read it. Think about Prince Eric and Ariel's relationship and how much they loved each other and how much they cared for each other. Then think the opposite of that, and that's the relationship. Probably one of the best slow burn relationships I've ever read in a book, but then again, I don't read slow burn relationships a lot. Chef's kiss, like. So, if you want to know the full-on plot of this kind of does the same thing with what I loved with A Curse So Dark and Lonely is take beats from the original fairy tale, but turn it on its head. Siren named Lyra, and she's known for stealing hearts of princes every year since she was 12 for her mom, who's the Sea Queen. And then we have Elin. I have no clue how to say his name, but I love him. He's this prince, but he's mostly like a pirate. He like lives on the seas. Lyra does something where she gets in trouble and her mom basically banishes her to land. And she has legs now, and she joins the pirates' crew. But she has to keep her identity a secret because she's on a ship of siren hunters. Dun dun dun! So that's big fun. I like the mythology. Really, really creative. I think it's really fun. Personally, I don't like the writing style as much as it is, but all the characters are really interesting, and that's kind of what gave me a 5 out of 5 stars. So if you really want something like The Little Mermaid but is not The Little Mermaid, you got it with To Kill a Kingdom. But if To Kill a Kingdom is too dark for you, which it's dark, but not that much dark, I have a much more lighter Little Mermaid retelling for you, and that is the Mermaid Voice series by a person that I'm not gonna say because I don't like to butcher names. So basically, this is a manga series. So if you're not into manga, well, sucks to be you. Basically, this series is a bent version of The Little Mermaid. So we have The Little Merman. Ba-dum-bum. So basically, the story follows our main character, who I can't think of. He's this merman prince. He sees this girl one day and basically saves her because she falls and she can't swim. Blah, 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 blah. He's banished after his family finds out that he helped a human or came in contact with her. And basically this sea wizard, sorcerer, all this stuff happens. The thing I like about this story is it kind of like differs from The Little Mermaid as they both kind of don't like each other. Like the prince comes to land and he like says like, oh, I love this girl. And the girl's like, what the hell are you smoking? And they kind of like start to dislike each other, but then realize they really like each other. But like it's another slow burn. Personally, To Kill a Kingdom and Curse So Dark and Lonely is better, but this is more of a fun series. It's more fun and lighthearted. Personally, there's only 3 out, which I'm kind of mad about. Usually I wait until there's a thick version of all 3 books together, but I couldn't wait, and we had all these copies at work, so I had to buy all of them. I don't know when the 4th one's coming out, so can someone please tell me when the 4th one? If you really enjoyed Little Mermaid retelling and you wanted a gender bend, a little more fun, light-hearted one than To Kill a Kingdom, which you should still read, I recommend these books. That is it for my fairy tale classic book retellings. Please like, comment, subscribe, comment down below some of your favorite retellings. Give me some recommendations, because I'm in need of them. Mostly I recommend Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Peter Pan, because those are my like favorite fairy tales and stuff like that. Okay, and thank you all for watching. Adios, amigos. Why do I keep saying that on?